Mr. Chair.
Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I'll take the opportunity to speak on this bill for one reason, and that is to protect the kids in this country. And it's not the adolescents, but it's the unborn children often of young girls who will take these drugs, will be encouraged to take these drugs, and we have absolutely no idea what will be the impacts on that unborn child. And to sit in this House, I had to restrain myself from leaping up and attacking the Honourable John Banks, who was going on about puppy dogs and mentioned kids once or twice, I think. Once, mentioned kids. Look, I'm here for kids first. I don't like to see any animals harmed either. But I do believe that there are some priorities, and the kids come first in my view. And I guess if you were to take an ACT philosophy to this, you'd say, well, the market will sort it out. In fact, we shouldn't have regulation. Isn't that what the ACT party stands for? Let the market sort it out. Well, I have to say, to be fair, there's a little bit of that happening around the place where communities are marching on places where these drugs are being sold. And good on them. If you buy your goods at the local dairy and the dairy's continuing to sell, then don't go there. Don't go there. There is, I accept, not because of Mr. Banks, but because of there are some accepted wisdoms around market, and if those shopkeepers hear the message very clearly that people aren't going to buy their milk and their bread and their biscuits or their ice creams from your store because you're selling those drugs, maybe they'll get the message. But for the ones who don't get the message, there must be legislation. For Mr. Banks to say, well, if it's not perfect, according to me, don't vote for it, how bizarre, how outrageous, and what a dereliction of duty as a parliamentarian to protect the young kids in this country. And that's what we're here for. It's not perfect. In fact, very few pieces of legislation are perfect. But politics is the art of the possible. And it's about numbers as well. And Mr. Banks likes to play the numbers at times. Funnily enough, he's supporting the Sky City legislation. And do you know what that's going to do? That is going to increase the number of poker machines, and science says it will increase the harm to kids in this country, and he's going to vote for it. There's a word. It's called hypocrisy.
Order.
It's a word, Mr. Chairman.
Order. I'm going to red card the member. Oh, well, yellow card warning. The member is straight into two years. He's getting off the bill that we're on, and using those words is going to bring disorder. I don't care how cleverly or obliquely the member is using them, it will bring disorder. Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Mr. Chairman, if we're going to be genuine in our care through legislation for New Zealanders and for animals as well, then let's be consistent. But there's too much inconsistency here, and I have to say, with a member who says, if I don't get my way over puppy dogs, it's in fact over rats and mice, if the truth be known. If I can't get my way, then I'm not going to do anything to protect the kids and the adolescent and the young people in New Zealand. What a ridiculous position to be in. So I say, Mr. Chairman, that we do support the bill. We need to. Indeed, my colleague's been calling for this piece of legislation for some time. The government has been delaying, sitting on its hands, thinking probably in its own naive way that the market might deal with this. Or the market might deal with this. You know, people will just stop selling it because good, wise people shouldn't buy it. Well, the reality is these are drugs. People buy them for God knows what reasons, Mr. Speaker. They are highly addictive. I have had a friend whose brother is a GP saying, please support Peter Dunn's initiative in this area. Because while it's been slow, it is progress, and the most important thing we can do here is shut down supply of these drugs as quickly as we can and protect many, many young New Zealanders from firstly taking them and then being addicted to them, Mr. Chairman.
Honourable Annie King.